Hi, my name is Zoe, and this is my dog Miso. A year ago, I decided to move to the countryside of Japan to pursue my dream of becoming a full-time artist. Here are snippets of my day-to-day life. I hope you enjoy. It is currently Sunday here now, and I have just been to the shops and back. I managed to pick up this beautiful milk for super cheap, and I've been wanting to trial making ricotta for a couple of weeks now because apparently it's literally just milk, lemon juice and salt, and it's like done in 20 minutes and yeah, just super easy to make. But cheese is one of those things in Japan where it's just stupidly expensive, so I thought if I can just make it myself, why not? Especially if it's something as easy as ricotta. Apparently it's like the easiest cheese to make, so I'm gonna give that a go today. Now I don't have any lemon juice, so I will just be using yuzu juice instead, which is like a Japanese lime, and then yeah, just a bit of salt. I've never made it before, so it could have a complete fail, but we'll just see how we go. I got this milk when it is like 30% off, so it's like a beautiful non-homogenized organic one, and it came down to like $3, $3.50 or something like that. So I think if I'm going to be making ricotta, just buy the milk when it's like reduced and about to expire and then make it into ricotta, and so good. Get super cheap cheese because yeah, it's just stupidly expensive here in Japan. So let's get to it. First things first, I have this quite heavy bottom saucepan because milk is just one of those things that tends to burn easily. So if you have a heavy bottom saucepan, it just kind of spares you a bit of grief. I've also got one that has a lid because you'll kind of need to let that do and just sit for a bit with the lid on after we turn it off. I've got a tablespoon of yuzu juice and a liter of milk. So the ratio for the recipe is 1 tablespoon of acid to 1 liter of milk, and then just salt for taste. So I'm going to start by putting the milk in the saucepan and heating that up. So I've just got the milk here on high and bringing it to a boil. Apparently you just want to bring it until it just starts boiling, so I'm just starting to get a few little bubbles now, so I might just turn it down so it doesn't burn. But once it gets to this point, so if you have a thermometer, it's about 90 degrees Celsius that you want. Once I just get a little bit more of a light bubble, I might just put it back on high until it starts bubbling just a tiny bit more because it's steaming at the moment. But I just want a little bit more of a bubble, and then I'm gonna put in the lemon juice, in my case yuzu juice, and my pinch of salt. I'll stir it in and leave it on like a lower heat for another 2 minutes. Then I'm gonna turn it off, put the lid on and let it sit for about 20 minutes. I think I'm starting to get a pretty good amount of bubbles on here now. I don't want to overboil it, so I am just going to put in like a good pinch of salt here, and then also my yuzu juice, and now I'm just gonna mix it and it should start to curdle. So mine was just not really bubbling and curdling at all, so I put an extra tablespoon of this white wine vinegar in there, and that seemed to get the chemical reaction starting. So now I'm just kind of mixing it around. It has all curdled, so that's pretty much what you want. You can't really put too much vinegar in. The recipe that I was using, she said you can always just add in more if necessary. So yeah, the yuzu juice, I don't know, maybe it just wasn't strong enough or what, but it just wasn't curdling, so I've just put some white wine vinegar in there because you just need a bit of acid to get it going. And this is pretty much good to go now. So I'm going to turn off the heat, and then basically I'm just going to, you can see all the curdles there before the steam. But yeah, that's kind of it. But just put the lid on, and we're going to do a timer and just let that sit. So I've got my timer here, and we'll come back in 20 minutes. I have also just prepared a bowl with a colander that it can drip into the bowl, and then this like kitchen cloth. I got this for free when I bought my air conditioner. Japan always gives you like little
presents when you buy electronics and stuff that are quite expensive. They'll give you like cleaning supplies and just random stuff, so that's why I've got this cute little anime thing. Hopefully the blue ink from it doesn't ruin my cheese though, but this is kind of all I've got. So I've just prepared this, and you're just gonna wait the 20 minutes now to let the cheese do its thing. But yeah, that was so easy. Oh my gosh, I was a little bit worried there for a second when it wasn't curdling, but I just decided to go in with the white wine vinegar, and then it just like curdled instantly. So yeah, I don't know, maybe the yuzu juice is just not as potent and punchy as when I first got it, because I just buy this bottle that's been like squeezed in there of this organic juice, and yeah, we've probably had it for like, I don't know, 6 months or so. But yeah, that was so easy, so fingers crossed that it tastes good. Okay, the moment of truth now. Here is my cheese. Let's see if I can start ladling it. Oh yeah, it's definitely cheesing, so that's good. I do not have a slotted spoon, so this will be quite interesting. It's definitely cheese though. Maybe if I use like a egg flip or something to try with this baby. Oh yeah, that's way better. So here is my cheese from 1 litre of milk. It's probably about 250 grams. If I was going to make it again, I would probably make a larger batch and maybe freeze some. But I mean, it was so easy to make, so probably like a small batch is also fine. But yeah, I'm just wondering if I can do anything with this liquid. Maybe if I make some bread or something, I can use that instead of water. So I did a bit of research, and it looks like I can use this leftover whey to make some bread. So it looks like I'm going to be making some focaccia now. So let's get to that. So I'm pretty happy. This focaccia recipe here almost used pretty much all of the whey. And I've actually found a bit more curd, so I'm probably just going to pour that on top of the old one and get all of that out. Another thing about focaccia is you want it to be sticky like this, but not kind of sloppy. I am just trying out a little experiment to see if I can speed make this. I know you're meant to let it rise overnight or do like the poolish method, but I just want to see what the difference is if I make it like super speedy. So I'm gonna chuck this into the tray. I'm gonna put it in my oven on the lowest it can go, which is 100 for 20 minutes, let it rise up, and then just cook it off like that and see what happens, what the difference is with the flavor and yada yada yada. See if I can just make a nice speedy focaccia, because I didn't actually really plan on making this today. I just wanted to use up the whey, so I'm just gonna do a bit of an experiment like that. Oh. You're having a bit of a nap? What's happening? You need a bit of a nap time, playing with some newspaper. You're a sleepy girl today. She's so sleepy. Usually she runs away when I start filming her. She's so camera shy. Sleepy girl, rainy today. Okay, so I've just had it in there for 20 minutes. It's not bad, but I kind of do want it to like double in size and take up most of the tray. So I'm just going to put it back to sleep. It is pretty cold today, so it's really better doing this in the oven, but this is just kind of how I've had this in here. And I'll put it in for another 20 minutes and check it again while I have a cup of tea, now that I have finally cleaned up the kitchen from whatever just happened there. So I've just made a discovery that this is actually cottage cheese and not ricotta. So I'm a bit sad because I could have used the whey from this to make ricotta, but instead I made focaccia, but that's okay. I'm gonna try and make, I've got like just over 300 mils of whey left from the cottage cheese. I managed to get 170 grams of cottage cheese out of 1 litre of milk, so not too bad. But yeah, I'm gonna boil this up now and see if I can actually make ricotta as well. So that is exciting, but I've got barely any left, so it might just fail, but the scientist in me is excited and wants to try it out anyway. All right, and we are so getting there with the focaccia too. It has definitely risen up, but still not there. So I reckon another 20 minutes. So that will mean that it's been in the oven on 100 for an hour. And yeah, I think then I'm going to be pretty happy with this. Okay, so I've just done a bit of research. Apparently you can only really make ricotta from a rennet based whey, not an acid whey, which is what I did. So I think this is a bit of a fail. I've been boiling it, but yeah, I've kind of already taken most of the curdles out from making the cottage cheese. So I mean, it was good. So I've only got like a cup left. I might just use this and make like a pancake mix. So actually lucky I made the focaccia, but good to know for the future. I need to be making like a more proper kind of cheese, not just this kind of curdly one. So I don't know. Some people say that the way that I did it before is ricotta. Some people say it's only cottage cheese. So I don't know about that, but anyway, I got like 170 grams of cheese from a liter of milk, so it's not too bad. Okay, so it definitely started like cooking or just kind of like firming up a bit, so I may have potentially fucked it, but good to know that I only put it in there for like probably 20 minutes if you want it to kind of heat up, and then I would probably just cover it in like a blanket to keep it warm so that it can continue to rise. But anyway, I tried to dimple it. Anyway, I'm gonna just bake it and see what happens. We can just eat it anyway. Like, it's probably not gonna be that nice, but I do not have high expectations for this, but a good experiment. Now I know in the future that that is what happens. I ended up just cutting the focaccia in half so I can store it in the freezer, but it didn't actually turn out too bad. It's still spongy. It is a bit like weird at the top where I put my fingers in it. It didn't quite bounce back because it was already a bit cooked, but it's definitely edible, so that is good. I also ended up making pancakes with the leftover whey, and oh my god, they're so nice. They're like super spongy, so they taste more like the Croatian palichinke that I make, but that involves 3 eggs and then kind of like letting them rest. So I'll definitely be making pancakes again from the whey because they just tasted so yummy and they turned out so good. So let's flip this guy over now. But yeah, super awesome to know that the whey does not need to go to waste. It makes awesome pancakes, and I just do the simplest recipe, which is 1-1-1, 1 egg, 1 cup of flour to 1 cup of milk, or in this case I use whey instead. So this is a jacket that I completed about this time last year, but it was when I was first doing kakishibu. So as you can see, it's quite this like light grey colour, and it even had like quite a bluey tinge. And I also did this like light pink top stitch, but I'm kind of at the point where I think I would like it and I would wear it a lot more if it was just all one colour. So I'm gonna try and dye it again with kakishibu, and hopefully this time, now that I know my iron percentage rates, I'm gonna weigh the jacket out and do the iron bath properly. So hopefully it'll go like a bit of a darker colour, because yeah, I could just see myself wearing it. I love how I wove the fabric and I kind of let all these kind of errors or mishaps happen, but yeah, I just kind of wanted a bit of a darker colour to begin with at least. So yeah, let's get into it. So I had close to 2 litres of liquid, but as you can see, the container is empty. The jacket has pretty much drunk up everything, and a little bit to my surprise, the pink hasn't actually changed colour. It has just kind of stayed like that, but it might just stay like that until the iron bath, or it might actually keep its colour. So I'm kind of hoping it will change in the iron bath. Otherwise I'm probably going to unpick everything and then just, you know, do it like that. But anyway, I've got probably like 30 minutes to wait for that to just kind of soak into that, and then I'm going to put it into the iron bath. The iron bath had a bit of contamination because I wanted to measure the water. I like to keep the water the same for the dye and the bath, because like when I was doing this jacket, If you do like a lot of water, it will dilute the dye, so you can't get a dark color. So now I like to keep it the same amount just as the dye bath, just so I don't get any extra dilution when I am doing the mordant bath after. So anyway, I'm gonna wait my 30 minutes for this to just kind of keep doing its thing and kind of just keep massaging it, because when I squeeze it, the liquid does come out a bit, but as you can see, it is pretty much drank an entire 2 liters, and the jacket was damp to begin with as well, so it's quite a lot. So I've just put it into the iron mortar and gave it a pretty good massage. You can see that the bubbles are starting to form, so that is a good sign. Usually if these bubbles don't form, it generally means that the mordant is like too weak and the iron to water ratio is out or something. Every time I've gotten these bubbles show up, I've gotten a really nice result. I have also noticed that after giving it a bit of a massage, you can see that the pink color has started to go away now. So that is a good sign, because I really don't want to have to redo all the buttonholes and stuff. I think even if it just has this kind of slight wash over it and tones it down a bit, that would be a lot nicer. I'm still undecided about the bit around the collar and stuff though, but I'm hoping as the 30 minutes progresses that this will kind of keep improving. So I'm just going to keep massaging it like so and see what happens. Alright, we're looking really good. The fabric looks pretty black, so all of the stitching actually turned into this kind of like a, I don't even know, I would say it just kind of got like a wash of the kind of blacky grey over it. So I'm hoping that it holds, because I already think it just looks so much better like this. Yeah, it seems to have been fixed by the dye. I reckon I'm definitely going to wear this a lot more now, and it already looks so much better, so I can't wait for it to dry and see what happens to it. It has been at least a week and this jacket has finally dried. I dyed it and then it was kind of like rainy and just not very nice sunny weather, so it literally took like the whole week to dry. This is kind of what the results are looking like. The pink went this kind of light grey bluey colour, so I'm quite happy that all of those kind of little details faded. It's probably like a dark grey at the moment, I would say, but yeah, I'm thinking I might just dye it one last time just with the dye, no mordant, so that it doesn't wash it out, and then I think I'll probably be at that beautiful colour that I really want to be at. This is just what the jacket looks like when it is in the sun. This is kind of the colour, and yeah, but I think one more time is going to be perfect. Hey, Miso. Hey, Miso.